Hello everybody, Mannix here. Got another little knife review for you right here, right now. But first, as always, feel free to subscribe at that little bell notification if you do not want to miss weekly knife and gun videos. As always, this one's going to be on the Byrd Gooney. This one intrigued me as soon as I first laid eyes on it, and I was in love from the start. I love weird blades, as long as they're still functional, not just weird for the sake of weird, and this absolutely is functional. For some of you Spyderco vets, this blade shape may remind you of the Spyderco Dodo. I always love that blade shape as well, but this is kind of a budget-friendly version of that knife with an elongated blade as well. If you're not familiar, this is basically a Byrd Caracara, or Caracara, however you say that, G10, with this blade style. And what I will say right out the gate, it kind of feels a little outdated in late 2025 as I'm filming this right now, because these days we got ball bearings, we got crossbar locks on every single knife out there. We got loop over pocket clips, the usual stuff you expect to have on your knives in the modern day. But this guy's lacking some of those things, just like a lot of Spydercos are right now, but it's a very, very unique blade shape that's extremely useful. We're going to get into that. The ergonomics are good. The way it carries is good. It's completely ambidextrous. The lockup is good. It deploys okay. It's smooth enough. Sharp as hell, 9CR14 MOV. But really the big thing it's got going for that is that blade style, and it absolutely has a use behind it. It's very, very handy. Love it a lot. Let's just get the specs out of the way real quick, as we always do on this channel. Overall length of 7.7 inches. Closed length, or handle length, of 4.34 inches, meaning the blade length is 3.44 inches, just under 3.5. The edge itself is 2.92 inches. Blade thickness is 0.11 inches. G10 handle scales, accompanied by some steel liners in there. They're not skeletonized. They're running across about halfway through there. Flush mounted. Weighs 3.7 ounces according to Spyderco's official website. Let's weigh this guy. They're saying 3.7 ounces. Well, my scale is saying 3.39. Huh. That's significantly lighter than what they were claiming on their website. So, okay, under 3.5 ounces, just like the blade is under 3.5. So, cool. Not as heavy as I thought anyway. Not that I care that much, but made in China, full flat grind on the 9CR14 MOV blade, satin finish, retails at $75, but you can get this anywhere from high 40s to low 60s. So expect to pay around $55 if you find this thing. Now, right out the gate, is that a good deal? Well, compared to a lot of knives we're seeing pop up on Amazon, I'm gonna just put this out there. No, not really. There's knives, again, we're getting ball bearings, we're getting D2 if you're into that, with skeletonized liners, with loop over pocket clips, for probably closer to like $35, like no more than 40, generally speaking. I mean, you can go up there and get some fancier stuff for even more for closer to this price, obviously, but this guy, I wish this was more like no more than $35, but it's above 50 usually, and like all Spydercos, even their Byrd line now, it's just slightly expensive for what else we can get this day and age. I will say that, but I do not think you'd regret buying this knife anyway if you're really into this blade shape. Totally acceptable though. It's still a fair value, I think. It's just that we're getting crazy good deals on knives in the mid-2020s with Amazon now. Unfortunately, we're supporting a lot of these Chinese companies that they're just outdoing a lot of the American companies, unfortunately, but this knife's also made in China. So anyway, so this blade shape right here, I don't know what you would call it. It's kind of like a reverse recurve sheep's foot. Blade shapes are so subjective. I don't really give a shit. Tomato, potato, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it, but there you go. That's the blade shape. We do have a tip on here. It's just you have to get it started on this particular angle. It's not going to be very good for piercing like at all. It's going to be terrible for piercing, but this is going to be a great knife for slashing if we're getting into defense. Hawkbills are great for that particular maneuver right there. This movement right here, if you were to slash across somebody who's attacking you, trying to get them off you, whatever, that's going to hook in there, my friend. That's not going to be pretty. It's going to work very, very well. You can get control in there because of the reverse curve we have right here, but it's not a full-blown hawkbill. Obviously, it recurves back. So this is a very, very good EDC blade style for a lot of different tasks, as well as a good defense blade style. And that's one of the things I really, really like about this blade shape. Most people are going to take one look at this and go, oh God, what is that? It's so ugly. It's so useless. It's a gimmick, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely not. It's not very conventional. I will give it that. It's very, very strange. It's very specific. It's not going to be everybody's bag. A lot of people are going to think it's ugly. It is very ugly, but I think it's beautiful in its own right at the same time. I love this weird stuff. Very, very good for EDC tasks that we normally do, such as slicing, opening things like we normally do. Opening packages. This motion we use a lot with knives, a slice. But again, for slashes, that's going to dig in there. You pull down, oh, that's going to be nasty. It's a very, very good defensive blade style. I think actually it's just terrible for thrusting because we basically don't have a tip for this particular motion. But if you're slashing, I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. Very, very good blade style. And again, it's not a full-blown hawkbill. We got some belly going down there as well. So yeah, actually very good EDC blade style as well as defensive blade style. You just have to know, hey, you're not using a clip point, you're not using a drop point, Tonto, nothing that has like a tip up here. You're basically working with like a sheep's foot, kind of a hawkbill that also has a bit of a belly on there. But I think it's fantastic. I love this blade style and I found it extremely useful. A lot of tree sap I got going on here. Been using this knife lately. Been cutting open a lot of live Christmas trees with this knife in particular, and it could not be a better blade style. It's perfect for that. This hook catches in there, gets all that twine off of there so easily. It's a great blade style for that. Now, 9CR14 MOV, it's got a slight edge in edge retention. So it's going to be slightly more brittle as well, meaning it won't be as tough. It'll be slightly more difficult to sharpen, but it's not a massive upgrade or anything. It's just a little bit better. Glad we got a slight upgrade, if you will, from the usual 8CR13 MOV by now. But I don't have a problem with that blade still either, especially from Byrd or Spyderco. Their blades are wicked sharp, very good heat treatment, very easy to resharpen. For this price point, not too bad at all, actually, not terrible. Ergonomics are very good. It's nice and rounded in the middle right there. In fact, I think this handle shape's slightly different from the Caracara. I don't recall the Caracara being this rounded in the middle right here. I thought it had like another sharp choil, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Comfortable enough, sure. It's not like the most comfortable handle I've ever had or anything, but it's good enough. It's nice and slim, but not too slim, I don't think. You can scooch up here, take advantage of that blade choil, which is jimped, by the way. Thank you very much. Thumb ramp on the spine of the blade is also jimped. Thank you so much. You get good control in there. Reverse grip carries just like that. Doesn't have too long of a cutting edge, and the blade is, again, underneath 3.5 inches, so it stays nice and legal for a lot of locations that have stipulations against that stuff. But you have a long handle here and a lot to work with, a lot of reach. Love it when knives have that feature right there, so you can reap the benefit of having a lot of distance from where you're holding it without having to deal with an illegal blade or cutting edge, depending on your area. G10 texturing right here is relatively soft. It's not super grippy or anything, but not bad either. Just grippy enough. It is gray, by the way. The Byrd Gooney is only currently, as of December 2025, available in the gray G10. They don't sell it in FRN. They don't sell it in black or any other colors. We're just getting gray G10. We have that indentation right there, the boy G10 to have whatever this thing's called. Basically just a little minor cutout in the lockback that makes it a little bit more comfortable for your thumb right there. The idea is that allegedly it does not allow for as easy of a negligent disengage right there, if you will. So if you're squeezing this too hard, it won't accidentally disengage on you because it's there. I think that's the purpose behind it, but regardless, either way, it's not a big deal. I've never seen or had any of these disengage on me firsthand. It just makes it a little bit more comfortable to disengage the lockback. That's basically it. It's smooth. It was actually pretty damn gritty out of the box. It was very, very gritty. I had to really work this guy in, open and close it a lot, oil it up multiple times. Now it's nice and smooth. Well, kind of smooth. It's still not as smooth as a knife that has ball bearings or other knives that just use washers even. It's still slightly gritty, and I think that has a lot to do with the lockback protuberance right there kind of grinding against the tang of the blade as it pivots. So it's not the smoothest action, but it's okay. It's a little bit slow. You can't easily flick this without a wrist flick at all. So it's kind of slow. That's one of the disadvantages this guy has for defense. The texture's pretty good. The length's pretty good. The blade style is great, I think. But we just have a slow deployment. You gotta thwack this guy open. If you want to be absolutely confident, it will flick open quickly. But EDC, totally fine. I like the Byrd hole right here. I don't like it as much as the Spyderco hole, which is literally just a circle. We have kind of a comet shape right here, which does kind of help catch your thumb a little bit, I think. But because the shape kind of changes relative to your thumb's tip right there, which does not change its orientation as you're opening up. As you can see, your thumb stays relatively in the same exact orientation. It does feel like there's a little something grinding away at the side of it. Not a big deal, though. I do think it helps catch your thumb a little bit. It's cut nice and sharp at 90 degrees on there. I kind of just wish it was a regular circle. Sorry, but I do like that shape too. It just helps differentiate it. It helps catch your thumb. Pocket clip needs no introduction. It's the standard hourglass shape. A beautiful lady. Satin finish, it looks like. It looks completely bare bones. You don't have an emblem on there. No Spyderco logo or anything like that. Triple screws with a hole right there, which accommodates the lanyard hole, which is nice. And one detail I always rave about this, I always like this. It's very simple, it's not a big deal, but I like how that hole also exposes the pivot screw. So if you were to flip this guy tip down, you can also expose the screw and still mess with your tension right there without having to deal with taking the pocket clip off every time you want to adjust that. So I like that hole. It looks very proprietary. It looks like it actually fits what this knife is supposed to have rather than just being something that got slapped on there last second. So I like that attention to detail right there. Tension's perfect. It carries perfectly. There's going to be quite a bit poking out there, actually. That is something the Endura already suffers from. But this guy, because this blade is so fat up here, you're going to see quite a bit of blade poking out. Yeah, there's a lot of gleaming satin coming off of this thing, so keep that in mind. It's not very covert at all. No loop over clip, sorry, but it extracts out very easily. Tension's perfect, carries very well. It's not heavy at all. No, not too bad. It's not a lightweight by any means. G10 already is not light, but we got some steel in there, so if you're very wary about your heavyweights, this is not featherweight light. It's not super heavy, but somewhere in between, very mid. I like the backspacer on here, the nice satin finish. It just looks more expensive than it really is. I like that very, very solid, polished feel we have on the spine here, really nice and rounded. I like how the blade's concealed within there as well. Same with the lanyard hole. There's a little bit of movement up and down. That's just kind of to be expected with standard lockbacks. Lockbacks, I think, are a little bit outdated for the 2020s. I've said this before. I just don't really see any advantage they have over crossbars now, other than maybe simplicity. The crossbars have to deal with the Omega springs, or what I want to call those things. There's two separate springs those need in order to work, and those things can dick up on you in time. Not commonly, but it can happen. Lockbacks are very, very simple. There's literally just a torsion bar in there. You can just barely see it right there. Torsion bar pinched within the handle scale, and then you have a steel bar that's just pivoting on this screw right here. It's extremely simple. Doesn't get a whole lot more simple than that, but it is taking the brunt of the force on this guy. So both positive and negative force. That's force going on the cutting edge as well as force going on the spine. It's taking it all in. So although it's stronger than a liner lock, it's not very strong compared to what else we got in the 2020s. I'll just leave it at that. It's very simple, very bare bones, and I would think an advantage that would have is price, but this knife's not that cheap, and that's kind of a slight issue I have with it as well. It's kind of behind. I feel like this is a knife that would have came out back in like 2013 or something, you know, but 2025, Spyderco, I kind of wish you would get with the times a little bit more, but it is what it is. I still like it. I still like the simplicity. It's fun. I like lockbacks kind of for novelty at this point. I don't think they have any advantage over crossbar locks or a lot of other stuff we have going around right now, but it is what it is. It's just a classic Spyderco / Byrd feel. It's still a great knife. It's fast enough if you give it a wrist flick. It's smooth enough. I love the blade shape. Absolutely love the blade shape. I like the blade steel. It's okay for the money. I like the way it looks. I like the way it carries. I like the way it feels. It's like a B-, I would give this guy. I have no obvious issues with it. It just doesn't particularly excel at anything other than its blade shape, which I absolutely love. I love the jimping and option to hold this in multiple positions as well. There you have it. That is the Byrd Gooney. Very, very cool knife, mainly just because of its blade. It's got the classic, you know, Spyderco Endura thing going on, more particularly the Byrd thing going on. Really like this knife. I absolutely love it, actually. I love how it's so simple, but it's just a little bit behind. I wish it was like 30, 35 bucks max. It's just closer to 55 right now. Slightly expensive, but again, Spyderco and even Byrd knives are just expensive right now, unfortunately. So it is what it is, my friends. If you want this blade style, it's tricky to find stuff like this, and it excelled. I love, 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 love this blade style. In fact, for everyday carry and my uses, I think I prefer something like this over a drop point or a clip point. Yeah. Drop points and clip points, don't get me wrong, are more useful overall for basic tasks, but for my tasks, I like this more, and I actually really like it, or I think I would really like it for defense if that situation comes up. If it does, I'll certainly let you know in a follow-up video. Who knows, when I have to go to court after defending my life against a crazy guy who's trying to kill me or something, maybe I can use that to help my defense case. So anyway, do you have this knife right here? What do you think of the Byrd Gooney? Do you have the Spyderco Dodo? What do you think of that blade style? Do you have the Caracara, Meadowlark, Robin, any of those other birds? What do you think? Do you think this is a good price, or do you think it's a little too expensive? Do you think these should get with the times more, or do you think these are perfectly fine for where they're at? Let me know in the comments down below. It's always interesting to hear what you guys have to say, and I always learn something from you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, Mannix out.